Well, welcome back to Digger Detecting, guys. Welcome also to house site number 2 on Murray's property. How amazing. We're just being given full permission. We've got 4 brand new house sites to attack on Murray's land. This one being number 2, and we've been given full permission to just drive the car up to all of them and start hunting. And we're going to show Murray and catch up with him later. After about a month of hunting at these 4 different house sites, we're going to catch up with Murray and show him what we've found. And look, we'll even do a display board up for him like we did with Russell there, and give a pass on and donate to Murray in future a display board for every house site. That means we're going to be making 4. So look, anyway, today I also want to be touching on not only detecting this brand new house site, but touching on something very, very important, something close to home for me, and I'm sure it will hit home for a lot of others out there too. So we're going to be touching on, mental health and how it helps getting out metal detecting. How metal detecting does help mental health for me and others, I'm certain. So look, I'm going to share my story. I'm going to get a bit real. I'm going to get a bit honest, a bit truthful. There's probably going to be some stuff that you'll learn about me today that you never ever knew. I hope it doesn't tarnish my reputation. But look, also, as I said, honesty and truthfulness, it's going to come out in this video. So I had a life before my life now, and I'm going to share it and share just how metal detecting is really helping me, in today's, get through some of these dark days still today. So anyway, let's get started. Let's get set up. Let's turn that detector on. Let's see if we can't snag that first coin, and also share my story as we go. Okay, let's get into it. I'll just say too, look, I'm a bit of, I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's the sort of bloke I am. And this video, I've been wanting to do it for so long, but I have been delaying it because I know, I know it's going to be a hard one to put out there. So I'm going to do my best. I am going to touch on what I think is appropriate to share. Look, there will be some things that I just feel aren't worth sharing or no need to share. However, look, as I said, I'm going to share a bit of my story, my background. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a background. It's not a competition sharing my story, had to compete with others. But look, I just want to let everybody know about my experiences, up until this point, and then up until grabbing a detector, and how detecting really helps me now today. So we just gave a quick run through the settings there. We just talked about what we talked about in the introduction, but as I said, we are going to get started and we are going to share that story. So let's see what sensitivity we're running, and let's shoot a noise cancel, and let's properly make a start. Well, we've got the machine turned on there, and I'm just looking at where to start. It probably does not matter really, but look, I am running from 50 through to 99 today. What I am going to do first off though is flick the horseshoe button in, because I just want to hear what's going on at this site first and foremost. So let's see where the volume is. 25 max is good. Let's give you a listen to everything that's in the ground. I suppose with all the bricks and rocks in front of us, we're right on top of the house now. So ideally, not a great place to be, because it's the most trashiest. So to pick a few easy signals, like that, you'd probably want to walk off into the paddock a little bit there. But that's all right, that's the first one we're going to go after. So, and look, that is where we're going to start our story too. So while we go grab the shovel, look, I'm going to start explaining, and I don't really know where to start. Well, let's just start from the beginning, I guess. So look, I'm 36 this year. I was born in 1987. I have 2 wonderful parents, Wayne and Loretta, and I have 2 sisters, an older sister and a younger sister, not to mention an older brother, Daniel. So Emma is the eldest, Daniel, myself, and then Jessica, my little sister. And look, we're all grown up, we've all got kids, we've all got families now, but look, we've all got great relationships too still. We all still meet up, catch up, family catch-ups and everything, and I love it. However, when I was younger, I was only, there he is, I was about, just turned 15. I didn't get along too well with my parents at that stage, and it wasn't them, it was me. I wasn't the easiest teenager, put it that way. So a little brass something for that target. First target, and we're just going to keep going with this story, and we're just going to keep the camera rolling today. I think that's the easiest. So look, I wasn't the easiest teen. I knew everything. I was cocky, I was smart, you couldn't tell me nothing. And look, that didn't jive too well with my parents, especially my dad. Hardworking, genuine, honest, kind people, both my mum and dad, and very hardworking. So, you know, one of my biggest problems was I couldn't be told nothing. So, not long after, look, probably not long after I had my 15th birthday, maybe I was still 14, I really can't remember. But I left home, I ran away from home. Jumped in a car with two mates one day, unaware to mum and dad. They were actually attending Melbourne, going to a concert of all things. Very rarely did they ever do that too. So look, my older sister called up my mum and dad as they were in Melbourne, and I had hastily made that decision just that day after meeting up with a mate. He said, "Oh, I'm going to Shepparton to go fruit picking, you want to come?" Yeah, righto, let's go. So I hastily made that decision, jumped in the car that very same afternoon. I sold all the stuff that I had to a second-hand place in town here. Even Christmas presents. Just look, I wasn't a very good teenager, put it that way. Wasn't a good kid at that stage. So I couldn't imagine my boys doing that. Brass handle there. Anyway, we sold our stuff. We took off Shepparton. Ended up in Mooroopna that night, midnight, with two older mates. I was only 15. My mates were 19 and 21. So, led by two elder people I was. But I should have known better myself. As you can imagine, mum and dad completely freaked out. Did not enjoy the concert whatsoever. And end up coming home. And look, just stressed out, worried about their young son, off in the middle of nowhere with two blokes fruit picking. So as they would, can't imagine if Zave did that in 2 years' time. Anyway, look, I'll go back a bit too. I had a great upbringing. Lived on a farm, loved by parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles, and had a great upbringing. So to turn out as a little shit, shouldn't have been, you know. That's just rebelling hard. There he is. Why weren't we hitting on him with the pinpointer? See what the sensitivity is. So to go run off fruit picking, it was look, it was a bit out there. My brothers, sisters, none of them did that. None of them rebelled like I did, and played up like I did. So, long story short, we finished our fruit picking adventure. I ended up in, actually from Shepparton we went to Bendigo. From Bendigo we ended up in Adelaide. I ended up making friends, or what I, so-called friends up there. And long story short, stuck in Adelaide, no money, no place to stay. I remember we were camping in a little park, just shocking. Living off baked beans and noodles and bread. Mum and Dad drove all the way from Victoria in one day, come up and picked up their son, me. There you go. Whenever I needed help, Mum and Dad were always there. Even when I threw it back in their face. Long story short, come home, tried to clean up my act, got a job, working on a potato harvester, doing 12-hour days as a 16-year-old kid, 6 days a week. Problem was, I still had a lot of those mates hanging around me. My dad used to always say, you judge by your association, Luke. Little lipstick tube there, or valve cap. I hope this is not boring anybody. We're getting some real digs in, aren't we? Live digs, as I tell the story. So look, come back, got a job, made something of myself for a little while, but I still had that association with the wrong people. And all the money that I would make during the week on the potato harvester, working my guts off too, mind you, where do you think it all went? Every weekend, 15, 16, there I was, spending it all on alcohol, cigarettes, and even drugs. I said, we're going to get real, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure a lot of people out there watching this can relate. So look, not the best teenage years. I went on from that, you know, working and hanging out with wrong people right up until, look, 18, 19. And it wasn't until then that I met my first proper girlfriend. First, what I thought was love. Her name was Amanda. Probably doesn't matter what her name was. Anyway, said it. We were together for 6 years. We were quite happy for those 6 years. And in the last year or so, we were engaged. And none of this matters now. Don't get me wrong. None of this matters now. It's just part and parcel of the story. Back of the old fob watch. That's a cool piece. Clock housing of the fob watch. So, met the girl. Fell in love. And look, happy days. 6 years on. You know, I quit the drink, I quit the drugs, I quit hanging out with dickhead mates. And I just worked, and we saved, and we would go on holidays, and I was living a proper life. A life that I'd never tried to live. And I loved every bit of it. 6 years. Well, we went to Queensland on one of our holidays, 2 weeks in Airlie Beach, 2 weeks down the Gold Coast, meeting up with friends and staying there. Something changed in the girl I was seeing, as when we got back, I'll just say too, nice signal, but we are missing them because I'm just digging the highs as we speak, like that. Got back from our holidays, 4 weeks, and something had changed in the girl I was seeing. And look, flew back in on a Sunday afternoon. Sunday night she told me it's over. 6 years, gone. Engagement, gone. House, gone. Future, gone. And I was shattered. I was heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken. It doesn't matter now today, but I tell you what, it still does, look, it still does annoy me in a way speaking about. How can someone do that? Not the breaking up. That's, you know, people do that every day. I understand that. Whatever. What happened next was what got me. And look, I come home one day from lunchtime, and everything that this girl and I had amassed in 6 years of going out together and being engaged for the last year, don't know what that is. I think he's part of a little water tap handle, a little bit that screws in. Next target. I come home from lunchtime. Come home for lunch one day. I was delivering. I was a delivery driver then too, for another freight company, and I happened to come home at lunchtime, and there's cars down the driveway with the boot lids open, the doors open, and the trailers attached, and it's full of household contents, my household contents. So look, Amanda and I broke up. As much as I didn't want it to happen, we amicably walked around the house one night, and we made up a list of hers. Well, that list was null and void. 2 weeks later, that list was null and void. As I said, I rocked up at lunchtime to see car boots, trailers, aunties, uncles, parents, cousins, brothers, clearing out all of her stuff plus mine. I was left with a mattress on the floor. You can imagine after 6 years too, you collect quite a bit of stuff together. I was left with a mattress on the floor and a TV. Not a very good TV either. There's no smart TVs, LCD plasmas back then. So just an old box TV. The best thing I was left with was a fridge and a washing machine. Pretty much only 12 months old, but guess what? They were on finance, weren't they? So someone had to pay them off, and she didn't want to be doing that, so I got lumped with them and the payments. Thanks, Luke. See you later. Long story short, look, I returned to what I knew. I look, trying to say it without cracking up here, I went to a pretty dark place and I returned to what I knew, which was hanging out with dickhead mates, trying to drown my sorrows and trying to forget about what had happened. Not the right thing to do, but that's what I did and that's what I knew, so that's what I turned to. And I'm sure a lot out there can relate to that. So for the next amount of years, my life just consisted of that. Trying to forget. Trying to establish some other way to pass the time and not remember. Anyway, years went past. Doing the wrong thing, getting in trouble with police, just drinking and partying, and I said, trying to forget, doing the wrong thing anyway. And look, I eventually met a girl. Isn't it funny how a girl always changes things, for the good or the worse? So I met a girl and look, I started again. 3 years later, that wasn't meant to be either. And that ended up, look, in just a shitstorm once again. And I'm not trying to paint myself as the person that's in the right in all these scenarios. But look, that ended up in the same scenario. Broken up, messy relationship. And so that was the end of that. Oh, hello. That's a good target. So look, that was a 3-year relationship. Ended up messy, broken, and I moved on. I moved on stronger this time though, because I knew how to do it. I knew how to move on. And look, I didn't revert back to all that silly stuff and whatnot, hanging out with mates and drugs and alcohol. I didn't. I knew better. I'd done that prior. Anyway, we broke up, me and this other girl, and names don't matter. And it was not long after I met Helena. So, look, I can't, words do not put into effect, you know, how much I love Helena. She is my everything. And without Helena, yes, that's awesome. Talking about Helena and we get our first coin. Lucky, double lucky. Let's have a look what he is. Look, without Helena I wouldn't be where I am, who I am, what I'm doing. I just wouldn't. Helena has really helped me in more ways than she probably bloody knows. What is it? Oh, it's a Commonwealth. I can see a ring around the outside. There we go. We had our first penny for this site. It's a Com. It's an early guy. 24? I think 1924. That's awesome. That is awesome. I know it's early 1900s. So look, 1924. It's a great way to start the morning. And look, we're only 20 minutes in. So that's cool. Ah dear, that's cool. All right. So where were we? Helena, look, 11 years we've been together now. We have 2 sons, as you know, Xavier and Dominic. 12 years old Xavier, and about to turn 8-year-old Dominic. Well, look, some people are aware, but not a lot of people know. When I met Helena, Xavier was about 10 months old. So on a technicality, I am not Zave's biological father. I'm his stepfather. But no one would know that because it's not apparent. It doesn't show. I've been there since Zave was about 9-10 months old. I was even there for his first birthday party and watched him eat his Thomas the Tank Engine cake that Helena and I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning making. So memories, great memories. Anyway, as you can imagine, dating Helena started off too, you know, it was that question of whether I would take that role for Zave's father and whether Helena would want me to take that role for Zave's father. And it was something I had to ask myself and something Helena had to question in herself. And we come together and decided that, you know, we were right for each other and that's a role that I would be happy to take on. And Zave deserves a father. Every kid deserves a father. Anyway, look, I'm happy now. You've heard a bit of my life story, not all of it. I'm not going to bore you with little bits, but you've heard a bit of it now. And the whole point of my story was to sort of mention about the metal detecting, how it now helps me today, because over the years, with all that I've just explained, has come a lot of depression, has come a lot of anxiety, has come a lot of social awkwardness, being in rooms with people and not knowing how to be, how to stand, how to act, how to talk, what to say. You wouldn't believe it, but I can be the shyest person in the room. So, look, I am happy now in life. I still have my dark days, I still have my challenging days, I have my down days where I'm just not myself and I can feel it inside myself. And that's where I love getting out in the detector. That's where I love getting out to these farm sites. You know, sometimes you can be isolated like I am today, and I wanted to be by myself today. I wanted to have some personal time out alone. And then other days you can invite mates out to these sites and you can do some detecting together. And you can joke around like I normally do in my videos, and you can have a lot of fun. So, and look, another thing I wanted to touch on too quickly, which I didn't drop in amongst all that story, is suicide. And that's where, I said before, it gets really hard to speak about. It gets real. Because there's nothing more real or hard than someone taking their own life. And just what I mentioned there, I do have my down days, I do have my dark days. I've had days where I wasn't sure what I was doing, where I was going, or whether I wanted to be here anymore. So look, I'm just being honest here. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. It's something pretty hard to say and admit. How many people would admit that on camera and put it up on YouTube? But look, that's the reality of it. That is the absolute reality of it. That's life. Everybody's got emotions, everybody's got feelings, everybody goes through trials and tribulations. Everybody has to put up with life hitting them in the face every so often. And you're not human if you don't. So I said, it's going to get real. And there it is right there. There's been many days where I said, is it all worth it anymore? But yes, it is. 100%, every time. The thought might creep into my mind, but goes out straight away. Because, well, two main reasons now, three. Helena, Zave and Dominic. You know, I think the hardest thing in suicide is the abandonment of your loved ones, your friends, your family. Because they're the ones that, well, they're left to pick up the pieces and try and get on with their lives. And that can be bloody hard. Look at that. Here I'm getting a bit emotional, and I'm normally a happy-go-lucky guy in all my videos. It's just what we're speaking about at the moment. Here I am pulling a silver and not even getting excited. I am excited inside, don't get me wrong. Especially 1927. A sixpence there. Beautiful, beautiful. Second coin for this site. And we're showing it all live too, which is even better. So, very cool, very cool. Into the pouch with the penny. Love it. So look, going back to that, that was a cracker. That was a nice signal. Going back to that too, I've had a lot of mates that, look, have done the ultimate, have done it. I've lost a lot of mates. A lot of mates. I think that's what I find really hard too. You know, I talk about my experience and I counteract my experience with other people's experiences who have done the ultimate deed and followed through with it, which I could never do. I never will do. Ever. I'm determined on that. I'm a fighter, I'll keep going. But for the ones that haven't, and a lot of mates that I've lost either through drug addiction, mental health, depression, suicide, killing themselves in cars, drink driving, drug driving, it's shit house. It really is shit house. Life is not fair in those circumstances. This is probably the hardest one to talk about too, is one of my friends who I used to live with. Names don't matter. Not in this story, not in this instance anyway. Names do matter, not right now. He's a very quiet bloke. I lived with him for a couple of years. And look, we lost contact there for a while after we lived together. And seen him every so often, but we did lose contact. Where is that? Anyway, he put something up on Facebook one night and he was very, he never posted nothing. So when he put something up on Facebook one night, and I must admit, I was tired from work, I did see it, and I didn't do anything about it. I didn't write back to him or say anything. I should have reached out to him. He's no longer with us. He's with me every day though, I feel. It's just something there, I just feel like he is with me. I've always thought that. And funnily enough, I went to, very skeptically, went to a psychic last year, end of the year. and she said the same thing. She said, righto, we're done here, mate. It was an hour-long session, 38 minutes in. She said, look, we're done here. Any questions you have? I said, no, oh, look, I should have questions, but I don't really know what to talk about. You've got me a bit jumbled in my head. And she interrupted me. She said, oh, hang on, there's someone over your shoulder. Stand there going, what about me? Hello, what about me? I'm still here waiting to talk. Take of that what you will. But look, I believe it. Because I felt that prior to her saying that, and her saying that just confirms it. So look, I know this has been a bit of a long-winded clip. 25 minutes down, 28 minutes down on this clip. That's the longest clip I've ever shot. But how good is it to get it out? How good is it to speak about it? And how good is it to keep it real? Be honest, be truthful. Yeah, and look, that's it. So, mental health, metal detecting, they just go hand in hand for me. And I can't stress that enough. You get out there, find your passion, find your hobby. It may not be metal detecting. You may be watching this video and be an avid, keen fisherman. Well, get out there and fish. Get out there and enjoy it. Get out there and have some peaceful time and some time for your own mental health, because I'm sure you've got your own story, and I'm sure you need your time out too. And that's what metal detecting is all about for me. The finds, as I always say to people, it doesn't matter what I find, but whatever I do find on the day, that's just a bonus. So, as you've seen, we've got a penny and a sixpence humming around in that last half hour as we've told our stories. So, mental health, metal detecting, get out there, get swing, get enjoying, and try and clear that mind, clear the head. So, enjoy life. Anyway, let's keep going. Put a bit of a dark turn on the video to begin with. Let's see if we can lighten it up for the afternoon. Well, now we've got that out of our system, let's try and enjoy the rest of the day. And I'm sorry if that put a bit of a dampener on the video for anybody watching. I'm sorry if you happen to click away. But look, that's just what it is. That's the reality of life. And I sort of wanted to touch on mental health and metal detecting and how they play a role hand in hand. So look, they do for me anyway. And I'm certain, I've heard of it a lot from other people out there before. I'm certain they do for them also. So what do we got here? Oh yes, silver. I wasn't expecting that, was I? We had a bit of a choppy signal here, so we must have, oh nice, we must have a few other signals mixed in between. But look at that, that is our second silver basil from this one site already. And we're only about, let's have a look at the watch, 10:56, and we got here about 10 o'clock. So we're only, what, 50 minutes, an hour in, 19:18, cracker guy. That's awesome, absolutely awesome. And as I said before, look, it's not about finding the silver coins. It's not about, you know, like I could just go out and hunt rusty nails all day. I'm sure it wouldn't be that fun digging nail after nail after nail. But look, I've dug a lot of rusty nails and a lot of rubbish some days, and only come home with a dollar, or, you know, a 1 or a 2 cent coin, and if lucky, a penny. You know, some days are a real battle. But I always enjoy my day out on the detector. A day out in general is just a bonus. So awesome, little thrippence. What do we get before? 6pence, another silver? I can't remember. I've been too busy telling my story. Anyway, let's keep going, and let's see. We're nearing back towards the house again now. We sort of did a bit of a lap around the back paddock and back again. So let's see what we can snag up around the house, shall we? Well, we've got our next target here, and it sounds like a cracker. I do have the pinpointer on. I was going to say I don't have the pinpointer on yet. I know I haven't went after him anyway. There he is. Still right down in the hole. Yes, it is a coin too. I tell you what, I visit a lot of these farm sites, and I don't often think that they're going to be coin sites, because not all of them are generally. Most of them are old relic sites. Who carries coins around on the farm to lose them? However, there we go. We did empty off there before. I'll just give you a look. And we've got another coin to go throw over in the pile. So what a cracker of a day. It's been nice sharing the story. We've got the wind blowing on our back. We've got the sun in our face. As I said, we've shared our story and we're pulling the coins. Look at that. On the brick here, we've got a little 3 halfpennies, 2 silver coins, a threepence and a sixpence. And we've got a full Commonwealth penny there and the old silver fob watch, a backing plate cover. So plus a little knobby thing, really cool. And a bit of the rubbish that's been coming out this morning. So look, great day. As I said, shared our story. I spoke about mental health. We've touched on that. Look, I feel better. I like to get this sort of stuff out. You know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm that sort of guy. So as hard as it is to talk about it, it's nice to get it out there. And I hope a lot of people out there can relate to this morning's long-winded clip, sharing my story and talking about mental health and detecting, because look, it's so important to me. It is so damn important to me. And last year at our detecting event, we're actually going to run the event, and also we're going to do a foundation, a sponsor, a donation to a foundation, and that being the heart appeal due to mum suffering from heart disease. I want to try and raise a bit of money and donate to the Heart Foundation. However, what I think is going to be just as important, if not more important, and not for my own personal matter, with my heart problems and mum's heart problems, donating to the Heart Foundation this year, it would be great if any members wanted to, at our event in Wanyara, held in November, which I'm thinking end of November at this stage. I haven't got a date set, but look, if anybody wanted to donate, and we can try and donate some money and put together a donation for the Mental Health Foundation, I think that would be, look, phenomenal, beyond phenomenal, amazing. So, and I'll donate too, obviously. I'm not a rich man, you know, between raising kids and working 3 days a week, trying to get out there detecting and build up to get detecting so I can do this full time. I'm certainly not a rich man, that's for certain. Some weeks look, the bills get paid and that's about it, so no extra money. But look, I'll donate the most I can, the best I can, and I think it would be great if we could raise a bit of money to help go towards mental health awareness, because as I said, they go hand in hand. And look, I'd be all for that, all for it. If I can help someone else out there, look, that's what it's all about for me nowadays. So actually, just say, we actually just talked about this, Helena and I, the other day. Years and years ago, after everything I went through, I actually looked into becoming a drug and alcohol counsellor, because I knew a lot of what people were going through. I had been through it myself, addicted to drugs and alcohol and doing the wrong thing, and just, you know, no hope, no job, no prospects, no life. Look, if I could turn someone else's life around after I got my own on track, I thought that would be just the most rewarding thing, to come home every night knowing that you may have helped someone out there. You may have made someone's day a little bit brighter. So it didn't eventuate. Here I am out the paddock detecting. But look, if we could once again raise some money for mental health awareness for all the people out there that are suffering by themselves, geez, I tell you what, that would make me very, very happy. And I'm certain a lot of other people too. Let's go grab our shovel, because we lost him. Lost him in our travels. So anyway, detecting event, November, Wanyara campgrounds, just north of Denali. That's what we're going to be doing this year. On top of everything else that I'll organise, I will try and contact Mental Health Foundation and try, or one of the mental health foundations, and look, try and get a donation happening. So I think that'd be awesome. Anyway, let's dig out this target and let's see what we've got. Into him. Let's get him out. Let's see what he is. Oh, it's very gravelly, isn't it? I hope we don't have a coin back here. We're going to be digging through the gravel to get him. I hope we don't scratch him. And one thing I will say too is, look, I've dug about 30 holes this morning already, probably more. I have not spotted any glass, have I? Where's all the bottles? I don't know. So we're going to have to locate them a little bit more for future. Every hole I dig, I'm just looking out for signs of broken glass or dumping or rusty nails or bones. Were we way off our target? Or did we flick him out of the hole? Yes, we did. These guys have been tricking me all morning. Look at that, so small he won't even sit up on my knee, and I need him to. The little rivet, there we go. 60s, 70s, 80s on the Equinox 900. They ring up sounding so lovely. Same with the 6 and the 800. They will ring up around the high 20s, 28, 29, 30, 31. You'll think you're onto a penny or a coin, and then you'll pull out one of these sneaky little buggers. So not to worry, we're cleaning up this side as we go, aren't we? Let's get you on to the next. Well, we love the high signals, don't we? And there be another one. That's okay though, because as I always mention, when you're visiting these house sites for the very first time, and look, we've never ever been here today. It is a new day, a new permission. We've only been here 2 hours. But look, you dig those high signals, and in the 2 hours that we've been here, as you've seen, we've got out a lot of cool stuff. Coins and fob watches, harmonicas, a little brass knob. We've got out some really cool stuff, and it's still keeping on coming. So look, I do get out and do get back and dig those lower tunes, lower tones, lower numbers at a later date. However, to begin with, I just start with the highs, because we've got so many house sites we need to visit. We do not have enough time to get to them all. So look, we come back when we need to. We dig out those high signals. Those tricky, sneaky little buggers. There's another one. Not a threepence, not a coin at all. Another rivet. But look, we do get back and dig those lower signals. And not only that, already in the 2 hours that I've been here this morning, I've worked out the majority of the coins are coming from behind the house here. What I presume the house was in front, where all the bulbs and bricks and what looks like the chimney. So the majority of the coins are coming out from the backyard here. We also have, I've been wandering over the back there, we've got some bricks and rocks and more occupation, like a stables or a little piggery or dairy over the back there. Spin you around to the wind, do the same again. We've got something happening over the back corner there too. A heap of foundations of bricks laid. Actually, one brick there says South Yarra. It's really cool. I'd love to grab it and keep it. But then we can see a bit of a mound in front of us with some steel droppers and wire and tin sticking out from the middle. And this is also a very trashy area. So what I'm presuming is, look, dairy, hay shed, piggery, house when I spin you around behind, and all the coins coming out between the house and the wool shed or shearing shed, hay shed, whatever it was. So very interesting site. And I will say too, we've been in front of the bulbs heading up towards the roadside there, and there is nothing there, no signals. Well, there might be the odd one, but I certainly didn't hear many at all. So look, a lot of occupation activity has been happening from between the house site and pretty much where I'm standing now, and continuing on to that back fence there. So look, long story short, dig the high signals, chase those high easy tones when you're starting out at these sites, and it'll lead you on to the easiest targets to help you understand what is going on at those different sites. That's what I find the easiest anyway. And not only that, after you dig a few times, you can kind of paint a picture of a timeline. Is it 1850s to 1950s? Is it 1900s to 1980s? What are you going to be finding in that timeline at that site? And those finds that you find with the high signals, digging them, that sort of paints that picture and helps you understand the timeline of the site, especially when you're pulling out old English coins. Because look, if they're there, chances are occupation was happening at that stage. So very cool, very cool. All things to keep in mind as you detect along these old sites. Well, we're getting on to some of our last targets here, guys. It's been a bit of a long day. We've dug a lot of holes, and look, the back is a little bit sore today. I've got arthritis in the back, don't I? So I have good days and bad days with that as well. Basically, look, if I overdo it, it flares up, and I suffer for days onwards until it goes away. And if I overdo it, exert myself too much, the same thing happens again. So over the last 10 years since probably being diagnosed, it's called ankylosing spondylitis, a type of degenerative disc disease, and it's hereditary. But since probably being diagnosed, I've really learnt to take care of my body a lot more. And look, I used to be a mechanic, hovering over engine bays and underneath hoists all day. Well, I know I'm a courier now, lifting heavy parcels sometimes, and it's a very physical, active job. But look, you can be just that, physical and active. You're not stuck in that one prone position. But I still get a bit sore. I still have my days where I'm a little bit tender, turning into an old grandpa I am. So with that said, I think we've nearly dug enough holes. It's coming on 1 o'clock. We've been at it for a good 2.5 hours now. So look, maybe a few more, because I'm not really keen to leave just yet, but I just don't want to go overdoing it. So maybe a couple more, and then I think we will be getting out of here. What is this? That's a cool little piece. Little handle, little topper off something. Awesome. Into the pouch, as I said, a few more holes, and then it's home time. Last dig, hopefully it's a lucky one. It did sound like a coin to me, but then again, it does not matter if it's not. We've got more coins than what we expected today, and we've had a great morning. So, not to mention, touching on the story, very important. So, another little sash buckle. That's the second one of these we got. We found Paris over the back there before. This may be another Paris. So there we go. We're finding we found both of the farmers' suspender belt buckles. So little sash buckles. Let's clean this guy up too when we get over to the pile, over near the brick there, and let's see what he says also. Some have the date on them, some have a crossed arms or crossed sword design, I should say. They're generally military related, and others have Paris written on them. So let's do it. Let's get over. Let's bust out all our finds and show you a look at what we've done here at this brand new house site today. Right, well there's our scrap pile, and on the brick is our coins. Now let's see what else we've had in the pouch hiding away, which we've just finished doing. At a last round, I generally fill the pouch up, go again, fill the pouch up, go again. I just keep coming back and offloading all the coins and relics. So let's see, 2 sash buckles, that's what we got that round. I said one that says Paris on it. You can tell I'm French, can't you? So awesome stuff. That's an empty pouch. Let's put him aside, and let's sort of sort everything out. We'll come back and give you a look at exactly what we've done. Rightio guys, there he is, all laid out, the trash and the treasure. I just wanted to clean up a few of those coins without showing them off dirty. So let's run through a quick look and show you a go at what we did. We've got the 1918 little threepence, the 1927 sixpence, the big boy 1924 1 penny Commonwealth design. We had 4 Commonwealth design half pennies and only the 1 rue penny. So you know what that's telling me, don't you? Some early age, early occupation at this site. Could be a gold sovereign here. We've got 2 fob watch cover backing plates and 2 little Paris belt buckles. The other one cleaned up just the same. Funnily enough too, 150 or 100 odd years old these. And look at that, you can swivel them like the day they were being used. And they're about as sharp as the day they were being used too. So you've got to be careful you don't stab yourself with them. So awesome little pieces. We got the little knob up the top. I don't know what he is, but another one for the tumbler. And also the old leather, or sorry, not leather, the old brass case. You'd suspect to say leather, wouldn't you? Leather wallet, leather case, but it's not, it's brass. So there we go, pretty cool. He may have had his, I think I just broke it. He may have had his cigarettes in there, or maybe had some old pound notes rolled up in there or folded up in there, keeping them safe. And you can imagine the first thing I did when I found it, can't you? I opened it up to see if it was full of gold sovereigns or pound notes, but it wasn't. So anyway, a ripper of a day. We got a lot of rubbish there too. Someone asked there the other day, it's great to see the reality of detecting and all the rubbish you're finding. Well look, we show it all the time. At the end of our video, ever since day dot, I've always done conclusions, introductions and conclusions, and I like to share and show what I'm trying to combat through to get out the coins and the relics. Some days I go home with a mass amount of cool stuff, and people out there are probably thinking, what a cheater, what a rip-off. I don't believe that for an instance, but look, it's all true. Nothing is faked. We have people come out with us on site and witness exactly what we do. And look, nothing is faked here at the Digger Detecting YouTube channel. That's for certain. So look, that's never how I wanted to run. That's not me. So look, lot of rubbish, a lot of stuff that we can tend through just to pick out the treasure, but it's all worth it. And like I mentioned in the start of today's video, the reason why I shot today's video, because it was something that I really wanted to touch on. Metal detecting is all about mental health, really, so or a big part of mental health. So look, I started 6 years ago. I always had a fascination in history. I never fathomed that you could come out onto a farm site with a handheld metal detector and hit on these items. So that's the only reason I wasn't doing it prior. And look, before that, I was hobbying. As a hobby, I would do kayaking and fishing. I did mountain bike riding. Look, I did a lot of different other hobbies, and I never really stayed with them. You know, a couple of years at best. But look, detecting, 6 years on, 6 years strong. We're still building the Detecting group, name, channel, members up and out there for future. And my intention is just to keep going, getting it bigger, getting it better every single day. And I have, look, I have 110% passion to do so. So metal detecting for me is something that will stay with me for the rest of my life. And hopefully the Detecting name will still be there, bigger and better as ever. So anyway, that all said, if you have enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate a like and also dropping a comment, because every like, every thumbs up on my videos, and even you dropping a comment with a thumbs up or great video Luke, or a smiley face, or whatever it be, every single like, every single comment helps the Detecting YouTube channel grow for future. YouTube's algorithm loves it. So look, the more likes, more comments, the bigger and better we can get. And my whole intention in future is the bigger I get, the more I can put back into the metal detecting community and support everybody else out there. So anyway, guys, really hope you enjoyed. With that said, hit the like, drop a comment. We'll catch you on that next hunt. Cheers.